Hi, this is Survi. I'm Senior Product Specialist in SpeedHire. You might have got feel of the product from Gotham. Now let me give you more deeper insight on our product. SpeedHire is a technically advanced AI-powered tool with capability to assist the developers in 56 coding languages. With SpeedHire, it becomes very easy to create, test, and assess the candidate remotely with highly advanced prompting and plagiarism features. When it comes to remote hiring, SpeedHire also supports global time zone. Well, in mid-level or bigger companies, there are dedicated teams for various hiring projects. So apart from various assessment features, we also provide user management and team management support with role-based access control on the platform, where team members can easily coordinate with each other within the platform itself. SpeedHire platform can be used for various different purposes such as campus hiring, lateral hiring, internal engagement, and branding. Specifically talking about hiring, SpeedHire as an assessment platform provides end-to-end support from ATS integration to L1 assessment, where you will be able to assess and shortlist the candidate, and then further you can set up the virtual interview with shortlisted candidate. Now, let me divide my demonstration into three sections. One, how easily you can create assessment in SpeedHire platform and send the test invite to the candidate. Second, once candidate has taken that test, then how recruiter can view report and shortlist the candidate based on the performance. And at last, how to conduct virtual interview with shortlisted candidate. So this is the test setting interface. So it is majorly divided into two sections. One is the contest description and second is the contest settings. So under contest description, here you have to put the basic details of the assessment like assessment name, company name, what are the skill set, as well as you can also upload logo and company banner. In the next step, you can define the test structure as well as you can add question paper. So in SpeedHire, you can add up to 5 rounds in one single assessment. Here I have already created one round for MCQ, basically to test the domain knowledge of the candidate, and another round I have created for the coding. Let me add question paper for the second round. So these are the various question paper which I have created earlier. So if I want, I can select the one and I can use it in this particular round, reuse my old question paper, or else I can create the question paper from scratch. This is our library. So here, as we said that we support team management. So for every team, we provide separate library. So either you can select team library or company library, where all the questions will be accessible by all the team members. And then we have personal library and various SpeedHire library. Now once I select the library, further I can select the question type. So based on your hiring requirement, you can select the question type. So SpeedHire support MCQ, coding, data science, Java project, Spring Boot project, Angular project, React project, case study, subjective, and DB rank. So as you can see, we have around 15,000 questions in our library. Here you can further select the difficulty level based on the audience you want to target. And then here you can specify the skill for which you want to select the question. So suppose I want to select the questions for Java. So here we have more than 3,000 questions for Java skill set. So here in the left hand side, you can click on the checkbox to select the questions, and accordingly you can create a complete question paper. Now, in interest of time, let me select the question paper which are already available. So here, since I'm adding the question for coding round, so I will select coding and I will search the question. So this is one of the question paper which I have created earlier. So here I can see the structure of the test paper, that how many questions are there, what are the total marks, and then I can, with just one click, I can reuse this question paper and my round is prepared. Moving ahead, in the next step, here you can add the contest description, rules, FAQs, terms and condition, and about company detail, which will be visible in the test landing page for the candidate. In the next step, here you can enter the time settings and you can publish your round for the participation. So till now we have done with our test settings. Till now we have done with our adding question paper. Now in the next step, here are the test settings. So there are two modes of invitation. One is the invite mode and second is the public mode. So when you select the invite mode, the candidate to whom you have invited from our platform will be allowed to participate. And if you make your test link public, then anybody who has the access of this test URL will be allowed to participate. And if you want to target the specific domain, or you can say if you want to target a specific campus, so you can mention the domain name of the college and then candidate will be allowed to participate. Then we have a result section. So here you can decide whether you want to enable the result or not, whether you want to disclose the result to the candidate or not. Similarly, we have a leaderboard. Again, if you want to enable the leaderboard for gamification, you can do that. The best part of a tool is that it allows you to customize these test settings as per your requirement at round level. Similarly, we have award section where you can upload various JDs, as well as you can mention the price details. Maybe it can be some joining bonus. Then we have a question settings where you can mention the test duration as well as the number of attempts for a specific round. The same settings you can do for each and every round. At the bottom, these are the 56 coding languages. As per your hiring need, you can select the languages for the candidate, so that candidate will be forced to take the test in that particular language only. Then we have a proctoring settings in place. So one of the proctoring setting is live images of the candidate, which is a webcam proctoring. So if you enable this proctoring feature, various things will be captured in a candidate report, such as a screenshot of the test screen, snapshot of the candidate face, and the complete audio video of the candidate will be recorded, including the red flags such as multiple face detected, candidate move out of the test screen, and so on. Similarly, next proctoring feature is restrict browser new tab. If you enable these settings, the candidate will not be allowed to move out of the test screen, and here you can mention the number of warning. Once the number of warning is over, the test will be auto submitted. Similar case with the full screen mode. If you enable this, the candidate will not be allowed to get out of the full screen mode, and if you try to exit, his test will be auto submitted, and here you can define the number of warning. You can also restrict the copy paste in a coding editor if required. Next is a qualifying criteria where you can put the passing marks for each round, as well as you can also apply a level wise cutoff, where suppose if you set a level wise cutoff as 20, so the candidate who gets 20 or above 20 score in round 1 will be allowed to participate in next round. So in this way you can reduce your funnel. Next is a candidate details. So this is the so if you want to create your own custom registration form, so either you can select the predefined field which are available, or you can also create your own custom field as well. Once you are done with the test settings, if test creator want to review his or her the settings which he has done very quickly, so he can use the my checklist where he can go through all the settings done by him or her, and it will highlight the settings which is not done yet. So if I click on invite setting, it will take me to the invitation environment where I can invite the candidates. So either I can put the email ID one by one over here, or I can upload the email ID in a bulk format. Further, I can also edit the sender name, subject line, as well as the mailer body and send it to the candidate. Further, if you want, you can save that template for future use. So once the candidate receives the invitation mail, he can take the test. So this is how the invitation mail look like. So I have invited myself, and once candidate will click on the participate now, he will land to the test environment. So this is the test landing page where you can see the logo and banner of the organization, and this is the test structure. So here I have created two rounds. One is the screening round and second is the coding round. So candidate can simply click on the start and participate. Now let me show you the report section. So once candidate has taken the test, the recruiter can overview the test report. So right now, as you can see in the dashboard, if you want to track the overall, the overall test assessment done till date, you can go through the stats available. So here you can see what are the registrations, invite funnel, test funnel, what are the number of registration versus participation and candidate ratings as well. Now to see the report of a specific test, we can select the test from the drop down. Suppose I select this particular test, I can click on the view analytics. So here you can see the overall view of the test, that how many people got invited, registered and submitted. To see the report in detail, click on the funnel, and here you can see exactly who are the people who got invited, and you can see their submissions as well. Under the submission, you can see that what are the score of the candidate per round, right? Now to see the detailed report, you can click on the view detail. Here you can see the candidate summary, where you can see that how candidate has performed in different groups or round. We provide a very detailed report where not only we show you that what is the performance of the candidate in overall, but we also highlight that how candidate has performed in different round, in different difficulty level, as well as skill wise analysis. So here you can see that how candidate has performed and scored per round basis as well as the difficulty level basis, and here you can see how he has performed skill wise basis. Now to see the report more into detail, so here we not only tell you that how candidate has performed as an individual, but we also benchmark the candidate against the other participant. So here marks distribution and time distribution graph will help you to understand exactly where candidate is standing. Further, you can see how candidate has performed in different groups, how candidate has performed skill wise, difficulty level wise, as well as question wise, where you can see the status of the candidate as well per question. Similarly, you can see the report for coding as well, that how candidate has performed, difficulty level wise, question wise, how many test cases he has passed or failed, as well as what is the code submitted by the candidate. Apart from this, if you want to share the report with your internal team, you can simply download the consolidated report or candidate summary report, or even you can download the round-wise report of the candidate. With that, you can also take an action whether you want to shortlist or reject the candidate based on his performance. Then we have a proctoring details in place, where you can select the rounds and you can see the proctoring details. So in the left hand side, you can see various flags which are available with their timestamp, and if you select the flag, you can also see their respective screenshot available. So you can simply zoom it and you can see that candidate has tried to switch the tab. Similarly, you can see various candidate snapshot available, and you can see the video and you can play it at your end as well. At the bottom, you can see the summary where you can see the number of time error log has appeared. So this is all about the proctoring details. Apart from that, if required, you can also track the candidate through timeline, that when he got invited, registered and did the submission for different round. Lastly, apart from that, we also have private leaderboard where you can see the top performer of the test, as well as if required, you can also download the Excel report where you can see the ranking of the candidate. So this is all about the reports section and the assessment side of it. Once you shortlist the candidate, the recruiter can further go ahead and schedule the interview with the shortlisted candidate. So this is the interview dashboard where you can see 3 tabs available. One is the ongoing tab, under which you can see the live interviews. Second is the schedule tab, under which you can see the list of the interviews which are scheduled for coming days. And under the completed tab, you can see the report of the interviews which are completed. Now to schedule an interview, it's a very simple interface where you just need to fill the interview title, candidate detail such as name, email ID, phone number and resume. Phone number and resume are optional, and interviewer and panelist detail where only name and email ID is required. Here you can add up to 5 panelists including interviewer. And then further you can schedule the interview by selecting date and time. Once you save and exit and schedule the interview, an auto trigger mail will go to all the panelists include as well as the candidate, which will include the interviewer detail. So now our interview is visible under the schedule section, where you can see the basic description of the interview. Now before the start of the interview, there are few actions which you can perform. First, either you can add the question into interview. Second, you can edit the details of the interview. And third, you can cancel the interview. Either if you edit the details or you cancel the interview, in both the cases an auto trigger mail will go to everybody. Now this is, since I have added myself as an interviewer, this is the mail which I have received from SpeedHire, which include candidate detail as well as the interview link as well. Now I can simply download the link and I can see the resume of the candidate as well. When I have to join the interview, I can simply click on the link. There is one feature known as video playback feature, where the complete interview is being recorded at interviewer end. So it's important for an interviewer to share his screen. Now, being an interviewer, I can start the interview, and till the time I start the interview, the candidate is not allowed to get into the interviewer room. So this is our virtual interview room. So my colleagues have joined. So Pai has joined as a candidate and Ishika has joined as a panelist, including me. So in the left hand side, you can see this is a problem statement where problem description, including input output format, constraint and sample test case is visible. This is a collaborative coding editor where the interviewer panelist as well as the candidate can code in parallel. In the top right corner, you can see a selected language drop down where candidate can select the language. So here the interviewer can ask the candidate to select the specific language as per his requirement. So as you can see, Pahi has just changed the language from Java to C++. This coding editor gives you a real-time experience where the candidate write and you can see the code in a real time. So as you can see, Pi is writing the code, and being an interviewer, I can see it at my end in a real-time scenario. Okay. So apart from the coding editor, and usually in the interview, apart from a full-fledged coding problem statement, usually the interviewer panelist usually give a question such as, code snippet, or maybe ask the candidate to write some SQL query. In that case, you can use the discussion editor. Again, this is a collaborative editor where the panelist as well as interviewer as well as the candidate can write in parallel. So as you can see, we all can write in parallel. So apart from the audio video interaction between the panelist and candidate, we also support chat interaction where we have two chat windows. One is with the candidate where a panelist can interact with the candidate, and second is a moderator chat where the panelists can interact with each other privately. So this is all about the interview side of it. So once interview is being done, you can end the interview. Once interview is ended, a feedback form will go to the interviewer as well as to the candidate. And here this is the interviewer feedback for me. So I can either shortlist, reject or under review the candidate. And then I have to give the score based on his and her performance. And then also there is a free space where I can give a feedback and submit. So let's see the report of the candidate. So here you can see the candidate image. So before getting into the interview, the candidate image is being captured. Then this is the result that I have shortlisted the candidate. This is the feedback from the interviewer as well as from the candidate. So at the candidate level, the overall experience and the quality of the questions is being taken as a feedback. Apart from that, this is the complete interview which is being recorded. So if required, you can play this interview at your end again. And this is the problem statement with candidate code and test case outcome. So based on this, you can take the further steps. So these are the few key highlights of our platform. Now that you have a better understanding about our product, why don't you try by yourself? So in the lobby, there is a link which you can click and try to create a test at your end and win some good Amazon vouchers.